Hello, welcome back to the Trademark Sports YouTube channel. Today, we're going to be talking about the best player at every single age group in the NRL. Now, there's so many gun players. There's a couple age groups here, obviously we'll get into and talk about later. There's like 5 or 6 absolutely phenomenal players. So it is kind of hard to decipher just one, but we have done that. If you disagree with any of them, make sure you chuck them in the comments. We can have a little debate in there. But yeah, man, there's so many quality players. We're going to go all the way from 18 up to 35. There's 17 years difference between the oldest and the youngest player in the NRL, which is just insane. So yeah, if you like this video and you want to see more content around rugby league, make sure you subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a thumbs up and some comments. Yeah, we'll get straight into it. 18 years of age, hey? Crazy. These guys are just out of school and they're playing the NRL. Ridiculous stuff. The best player that I've got at 18 years of age at the moment is Latu Fainu. Now, there's some honourable mentions here as well. We'll talk about them just quickly. Chevy Stewart, Talon Da Silva, and Lockie Galvin. 3 of those guys are West Tigers players, so that's good signs if you're a Tigers fan. I think this Latu Fainu, from what I've seen so far, obviously the only one out of those guys we've seen at the moment in the NRL is Talon Da Silva, but I think Latu Fainu, certainly from what I've seen so far, is the best player out of those 4. He's also probably got the highest potential. We'll see what's happening with him at the Tigers because I think he's suspended, which is why he's not playing in the trials. And Lockie Galvin is instead. But there's massive raps on him too. Massive raps on all 4 of them as well, to be honest. Chevy Stewart, I do like what I see. He just hasn't really kicked on so far in his limited opportunities. He was quiet in the under-19s Origin game as well as the trial against the Eels. So yeah, for me at the moment, 18 is Latu Fainu. Takes us to 19. This guy, we're going to be seeing him in round 1 for the Titans, Keano Keeney. Freak of nature, moves so well. Honourable mentions, Jacob Laban from the Warriors, Blake Mozer and Tyrone Munro. Again, I just think from what we've seen out of those guys so far that Keano Keeney at the moment is the more complete footballer out of all those guys. Obviously, none of them are complete. They're 19 years of age, for Christ's sake. None of them are going to be superstars right now, but I do think that Keano Keeney's ceiling is probably the highest out of all those guys, which is a very good compliment considering that Tyrone Munro and Blake Mozer are in there. Now, to the 20-year-olds. I didn't even realise this bloke was still only 20 years old. Joseph Suaalii. Yeah, crazy. Obviously, he's played for Samoa. He hasn't played any other rep footy. His name's been tossed up in the ring for Origin. He's obviously going to Union after this season, but he's just an athletic freak. Hey, he's probably 6'4", 6'5", can move well. Got a great bump, great passing. He's so good. Honourable mentions, I've got Suafa'alongo and David Moali. Those guys are both good, and in 2 or 3 years' time, we'll be talking about them as some of the best players in the comp in their position. But I think Joseph Suaalii already is one of the best players in the comp in his position, and he's 20 years old. Now, over to the 21-year-olds, this is concerning for us, the competition. Reece Walsh at 21. Honourable mentions, Ezra Mam. Yep, we're going to be watching them 2 play together for the next 10 years. That's exciting. Jeremiah Nanai, Sam Walker, and Isaac Tungo are the other honourable mentions there. Reece Walsh is so good. He's the incumbent Queensland fullback, and he's 21. And he killed it in Origin too. Yes, he's got a lot of errors in his game, but it's sort of what makes him so good because his errors, they're not just him dropping the ball randomly or dropping high kicks and stuff. It's trying to force something. Not force something, but trying to make something happen, I should say. He doesn't force things, he just sort of sees what it in front of him and just tries to, if he sees a gap when he's 20 out from his own line, he'll go for it. Where most people will just take the easy run or the simple pass. So yeah, Reece Walsh is such an exciting, electric player to watch. He's only 21. It's crazy. We're going to be seeing him for so long. And it's awesome. He could have one of the best careers, be one of the best fullbacks of all time by the time he's finished. I know that's probably seems crazy to say, but if they win a comp this year as well, and he gets a Dally M or a positional Dally M, he's certainly putting himself in good stead. Believe he's turning 22 this year. Got a long way to go. Speaking of the 22-year-olds, we've got Tommy Dearden as my best player at 22. Honourable mentions, Dream Buller, Jacob Preston, The Hammer, Bradman Best, and Dom Young. Again, I just think out of all those players, Tom Dearden is the most complete package to his position so far. Bradman Best and The Hammer took very big steps towards that last season. Same as Dom Young. Buller and Preston, we just haven't seen enough of them in the NRL just yet to call them the best of their age group. But Tommy Dearden, been around for a few years now. He's just been announced as club captain at 22, so that's huge for him. Yeah, I do see him being like the long-term Queensland 7 and Cowboys 7. I think it's just crazy to think that Tommy Dearden is 22. That takes us to the 23-year-olds. Sitting here, we have Angus Crichton, not Angus Crichton. At 23, the best player in the competition is Stephen Crichton. I can't believe he's still only 23. That gives you insight to how young he was and the Penrith team was when they won in 2021. The honourable mentions go to Phoenix Crossland, Tom Gilbert, Spencer Leniu, who I didn't realise was 23. That's scary. And David Fifita as well. Just Stephen Crichton. He's probably the best centre in the world. So if he's the best in his position, I think he's going to be the best for his age. Enough said, really. 24, Payne Haas. Scary to think how young he is as well. Honourable mentions Herbie Farnworth, Tino Hopgood, and Campbell Graham. This is the thing like with the Broncos, right? Talk about the 21-year-olds. You've got Reece Walsh and Ezra Mam there. 24, you've got Payne Haas. They had Herbie as well. That squad is so young. I do think they're going to be up there, top of the competition for a while. But again, like with Stephen Crichton, same thing with Payne Haas. Best player in the world at that position. So it's obviously going to be the best for his age. Payne Haas has the potential to be the best front rower of all time once it's all said and done. And I don't even think that's much of a bold prediction. He's already won the most Dally M props of the year. And he's 24. So 25-year-olds. Reigning Dally M medalist Kalen Ponga takes out the top spot here. But just strap yourself in for some of the names that are 25 years old. Ruben Cotter, Katoni Staggs, Hamole Olakawatu, Isaiah Papali'i, AJ Brimson, Brian Toto, Reece Robson, Ryan Pappenhausen, Kaloa Matangi, and Reed Marnie. Certainly some good stock there. Kalen Ponga, though, won Dally M last season. Like, you just can't really go past him. If he keeps playing the way he did last year, the Knots will be hard to beat again in 2024. 26, Nathan Cleary. Best player in the world. He's going to be the best player in his age. Honourable mentions are Liam Martin, Scott Drinkwater, Latrell, Ruben Garrick, Pat Carrigan, who I thought was actually a few years younger than 26. But anyway, Cameron Murray and Harry Grant. So there's certainly some serious stock there. Harry Grant, the best player in his position in the comp, but he's just unfortunately the same age as Nathan Cleary, who, as I said, best player in the world. So doesn't really get in over him. 27-year-olds, Nico Hines as my best player in the comp there. Honourable mentions go to Jerome Luai. I don't care what your opinion of him is. He's a good football player. Tom Trbojevic, Joseph Manu, Lindsay Collins, and Brandon Smith. Nico Hines just gets better and better every single year. I think we're going to see him and Cronulla have their best years this year with Braden Trindle in the halves. Takes a little bit pressure off Hines because clubs now, they just target Hines, shut him down, you shut the Sharks down. Whereas you have Trindle doing a bit more organisational stuff, taking the pressure off Hines, it'll free him up and the Sharks a bit more. But anyway, we'll go to the 28-year-olds. I've got the reigning Golden Boot medalist, James Fisher-Harris. Honourable mentions, William Kikau, Jai Arrow, Val Holmes, Josh Adokar, Chances Will Klukstad, Dylan Martinez-Lesniak, Adam Fanua-Blake, Dylan Edwards, and Angus Crichton. Again, another one of those age groups where there's just, the stock's ridiculous. But James Fisher-Harris, he's finally starting to get his flowers, which is good because he deserves them while he's still playing. Him and Payne Haas are up there at the moment for the best front rowers in the world. I think it does go Payne Haas, then James Fisher-Harris, then Daylight, then everyone else. He's just such an immense leader. He's a very, very scary man, and he's the best player at his 28 years of age in the NRL. The 29-year-olds are the ones that are just shy of that 30 mark. We've got Cameron Munster as the best player at 29. Honourable mentions go to Joseph Tarpanay, Mitch Moses, Jerome Hughes, and Isaiah Yeo. So funny thing is, you get to this mark here, and you get more and more spine players, which just shows you as they get older, they get better, which is scary for Nathan Cleary because he's only 26. But yeah, Cameron Munster, again, best 6 probably in the world. So therefore, he's going to be the best player at his age. I think the only other really player that's probably pushing him there is Isaiah Yeo, and I just think Cameron Munster is a better footballer, in my opinion. 30-year-olds. The best player at 30 is Junior Paulo. Honourable mentions go to Regan Campbell-Gillard, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck, Kurt Capel, and Jason Taumalolo, which just goes against my theory of what I just said about how once you get to 30 and above, it's all spine players. But Junior Paulo is actually just a freak. Literally him and bowling ball, wrecking ball, I feel like he doesn't get as much praise as he deserves. Him and Regan Campbell-Gillard, who's here as well, when they're on the field, Eels look like so much a better team, and then they split it, they take them off, and they just got no punch at all. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck could be there, but we just haven't seen him in the NRL for a couple of years. And Jason Taumalolo as well has the potential to be the best player at 30, but the last couple of seasons he's been quiet and not at his damaging best. 31-year-olds, James Tedesco is the best player at 31. Honorable mentions go to Api Koroisau and Jack Wighton. James Tedesco, he's had a couple in different years. People have sort of been off him a bit. Don't think he's passed, I think he's washed and whatever. I just think it's just been teething issues with the Roosters, just into life under Sam Walker, and they finally made it click at the end of 2022, and then they brought in Brandon Smith, and so they're sort of and then another massive spine player that is a run first kind of player, not really your service and tackler like you've had in your Jake Friend. So it's just been a bit of teething issues for the Roosters as a whole in attack, and I think James Tedesco will, he still had a pretty good year numbers-wise last season, which just shows you the brilliance of James Tedesco. I think everyone sort of just has that 2019 season stuck in their mind of how good he is, and that's fair enough, he was so good, but I think we sort of sometimes tend to knock him a little bit when it isn't deserved. I do think Teddy has a bounce back year this year, and he's my best 31-year-old in the comp. 32, I have Tohu Harris, which is a nice, refreshing change from the last couple of years. Honorable mentions, there go to Tyson Frizell, Damien Cook, and Luke Keary. I think Tohu Harris is a very underrated footballer. Obviously, he had injuries and whatnot throughout his time, which has meant his consistency to be there at the top level for extended periods of time wasn't there, which sort of hinders him a bit playing for the Warriors, because no one, apart from last year, really had eyeballs on them at all. Definitely doesn't help him either. But yeah, man, Tohu Harris is a gun. Runs hard, tackles hard, can ball play. Literally the perfect modern day 13. At 33 is Tohu Harris's teammate, Sean Johnson. Honorable mentions go to Ben Hunt, Adam Reynolds, and Dane Gagai. It's going into this season, obviously. Sean Johnson was probably the second best, if not the most consistent halfback. I think second best halfback, but probably the most consistent halfback last year. It was awesome to see SJ come back to the way he was. Just come back to his brilliant best. And the Warriors too. I don't think he's going to be able to replicate it this season, but I'll give him his flowers while we have the chance. At 34, with absolutely no honourable mentions because he's the only standout player at that age, is Cody Walker. Very fast, dynamic attacker. It's going to be interesting how he plays at 34, because he's been so dependent on his athleticism, which is obviously going to diminish more and more and more as he gets older. But yeah, he's still such a freakish, deadly player on that left edge for the Bunnies, and I'm excited to see how they go this season with Jack Wighton and Chloe Matangi out on that left edge as well. And then at 35, aging like fine wine, Daly Cherry Evans, and honorable mention, Jerry Hargraves. Daly Cherry Evans had his best year of club football last season at 34, 35. That is unheard of. And it just shows you how with modern technology and these guys that have been through these systems with the highest state of the art knowledge and facilities, that they're just the longevity of their career is insane. He's literally 35 and a top 5 halfback in the competition. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. But anyway, that takes us to the end of the video of the best players at every single age. Let me know if there's any that you disagree with, what you agree with, who the best player from your club is at every age and whatnot. Comment for the end of the video if you've made it this far is a turtle. Drop that in the comments so that I know that you've made it this far to the end of the video and you're a real one. Again, like the video if you made it this far. Subscribe to the channel for more content, and we'll see you next time. And don't forget, to Scotty, drink your water.